Hey everyone, welcome to part 3, I guess, of modifying my 84 Spengler wand from Haslab. I did do some things off camera, not too many things. Just took off all the stickers, decals. I'm going to be replacing them with more movie accurate ones and also less weathered. Well, they're going to be brand new actually, and I might or may not put a tiny bit of weathering, I don't know. Plus, we'll be adding a few that wasn't on the Haslab. Like here, there's a Red Danger one that wasn't on here. Also, what did I do? So I took off the stickers. Also took the tip off. Also with these, I forget what these are called, but I cut these right off as well. Very easy to do. So on the tip here, you just get a little tiny knife. I used one of these. I forget what these are called. Damn, I forget what that's called. But anyways, just get in there and just cut it out. It's very easy. This is like soft rubber. I mean plastic. It's almost like rubber. Actually, I think this is rubber. And then this one, you just take the screw out of this. So you just take the screw out of there, cut this right off of there. This one was a little harder because there's like it's not a screw, it's like a rod that goes in there that this hangs off of so it can swing. But all I had to do was take the screws out the bottom. So I'm gonna take some putty and go over these plugs that I had to take out. For some reason they wouldn't come out. I heated them and everything and they still didn't want to come out, so kind of messed those up taking them out. But I'm just going to get a little bit of this plastic putty that I have, put it over there, and then when I paint it, you won't even know at all. Or I might just leave it the way it is, because honestly, if this is the bottom part of the gun, you don't even really see this part much at all. You don't see it when it's hanging on the pack, and you really don't see it when you're holding it or nothing. So I might just leave these here, so because if I putty over them, it'll be hard to access them again if I need to take this apart. So I want to be able to get back into this if I need to. So I'll probably just leave these the way they are. And after I paint it, it'll still look a little bit better. But I ain't worried about that at all. You're literally never going to see those. So, yeah, so I took those screws out to pry this open enough to pull out the little piece that was holding the rod. I did... Shoot. Did I throw that away? Okay. Here. So this is that piece. It just sits in there with this rod sticking out, and then the end of it, it makes it look like a screw, but it's not a screw. So you just pry this open here, take the screws out, pry this open here, and then just pull this out of there. You can see I cut it first because I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. I cut this off to try to see if it was an actual screw or not, but all you have to do is get these screws out, open this up, pull this right out. You could even do it with this still on there. So you could save this if you want. I don't care. So I wasn't worried about saving any of this, but you could actually save this whole thing if you're if you're a lot more careful than I was. But I didn't care. I know I'm throwing it away anyways. But so I ripped this off because I have real brass fittings coming with a new red hose, and I have a metal tip coming. This part here. So looking forward to putting those on. So this is trash to me. Matter of fact, I'll just toss that out now. And then also what I did was I took the tiny little green hose off of here because it's way too small, way too skinny. This is the actual size that hose is supposed to be. So I'm going to replace it with the actual green hose that it's supposed to be. And then now technically I should be putting the proper fittings in here with this hose. May or may not do that. Even if I do it, I'll just do it later. It's no big deal to do that later. So for now, I'm just gonna put it on there, and just for now, you know what? I probably will do that. I probably will get the right fittings, but I'll have to order those. So, but for now, that's that. And what else? So it's almost ready for paint. Oh, So the next thing I gotta do is I gotta cut this fake trigger out to put, I got a real one here that I want to install. It's not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna wire it up or anything, but it's just there for looks. So I'm gonna cut this out and then drill a hole to set this in. And I'm just gonna glue it in there, guys, because it's not functional. It's not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna glue it in there. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this in after I paint. That'd be pointless to put this in first. Masking, I hate masking, and I have a lot of masking to do already with tape. So I'm just gonna cut this out and then paint the rod, or paint the wand. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm gonna try to get this silver painted over. I wanna paint over, you know, I wanna paint over everything as much as I can. I'm gonna have to, I'm just taping over all this and this. I'm gonna tape over this. I do have a new sticker, vinyl sticker. I have a whole set of vinyl stickers that I could put on this, but I like how they printed these on. Like this and these are all printed on. So I'm gonna try to just mask these, tape over them when I paint. What was I gonna say? So yeah, I definitely want to make that black. And then obviously these will all be less shiny. I'm doing flat black paint. I'm gonna get rid of that stupid weathering there. I want to get rid of this harsh weathering here. Basically get rid of all the silver. And where's the other one? Oh yeah, there's another one on here. There, like that thing there. Yeah, so I'm just gonna paint all of this, guys. And I have decided that I have aluminum, movie accurate aluminum heat sink coming. I have whatever these two things are called coming, aluminum, and also this one, which is supposed to be aluminum, not painted at all. This isn't supposed to be painted black anyway, but I have an actual hat. I think it's called the hat piece, or I don't know, but I have that coming. Those two pieces coming, and the heat sink coming, all original or authentic aluminum pieces, like the real wand. And then also I decided not to go with a real aluminum track here, just because I don't want to deal with having to figure out how I hook it back onto here with the real one. It might be easy, it might not be, I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna stick with this one. It's really no big deal. It's gonna be, the only reason I really wanted to do it was to give this a lot more weight, so it doesn't feel like a toy and it feels like an actual, either a movie prop or an actual Neutrona wand. But so everything else is going to be aluminum and real, but this is going to stay the way it is. I just kind of don't feel like dealing with it. Plus, to be honest with you, a new track is like 60 bucks. I couldn't find one cheaper, and I'm like, honestly, I have to buy so many other things anyway for this and for the pack and everything, like, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to just keep this one as it is. This kind of has a little bit of weight anyway, but and also I bought some these like lead silver bullets or whatever. They're like these tiny little lead balls that I might distribute around the pack to make it to make it heavier as well. We'll see how heavy it is after I do everything else. But yeah, so that's about it, guys. That's my plan. That's the few things I've done off camera. But yeah, so next thing is to cut this off and then get the hole where I need it for the real one, and then do painting. So it's gonna take me a while to tape off everything I want taped off before I do that. Oh, also, looking at a bunch of reference photos, there's a lot of hex screws that go onto the wand that I wasn't even aware of, that I never really noticed. So they kind of mimic it here a little bit. You got this tiny little thing here, and another one down there in the corner. Well, those are supposed to be those circle hex screws that you see all over these tools. One goes there, one goes down there. You got one here, one like on the side here. Not sure what I'm gonna do with this hole yet. That's the hole that rubber wire was sticking out of. I might even just put one of those screws there. but it's supposed to go like on top here and then on the side here, and then one's actually supposed to go in this part here. And then I'm also going to cut all these fake hex screws out, cut these ones off, and put real ones in as well. And that's really easy to do. Just take the Dremel here and just carefully plop those off. Make it as smooth as possible on the bottom, and then just drill a hole for the real screw, and then just screw it right on in. So that's what I'm gonna do, guys. Let's I guess I'm not gonna film me cutting this off because it's, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. Again, I'm just gonna use my Dremel here, and I'm just gonna be as careful as possible not to mess up the black plastic around the piece. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so I got this cut off here, and I also cut the wires and the barbs off of the trigger, and all I gotta do is open that hole just slightly more, and then this will be able to slide right in, and I'm going to super glue it in there. I'm also going to sand this down. This is going to cover most of it, but there's still going to be a little bit that you see on the edges there. So I'm going to sand that down before I paint, and the paint should help cover that pretty good. So, all right, I'm going to start masking this thing. All right, so I got everything masked off, taped off that I need or want. And this is never a fun process having to do this. But to me, it's easier than taking every single thing off of this apart and then just doing it that way. For me, it's just easier to mask. Using basically the same paint they used, so you shouldn't be able to see where it was painted and not painted. I did this. I'm doing it the same way I did it once before, and it turned out just fine. So hopefully that's still the case. The reason why I'm not painting this is just because I want to cover the speaker up. I don't want to get paint inside because I'm replacing that anyways. But so, yep. So let's paint her up and see how she looks. Looking forward to get rid of all the silver weathering and everything. All this weathering. This will be less shiny. I was gonna kind of keep the weathering on the inside here, but I'll just add my own weathering later. So, all right, let's see how it goes. All right, so I got it all painted. That's what it looks like right now. Gonna let that dry for a couple hours. And then, yeah, then we'll see if it worked or not. All right, guys, so it is painted, and it looks pretty good. So now there is absolutely zero weathering on this wand. It's like it's brand new. So I'm gonna do just a tiny little bit of weathering, but very, very, very little. I really want it to look more new than weathered. So what I'm going to do next is I drilled this hole out a little bit more, and then I'm going to put this. It almost sits flush, but not yet. Gotta drill it out just a tiny little bit more. Put some super glue on that. Push it in, and then we'll be all set with that. So cool. All right, guys, so all painted. I think it looks great. Looks like a brand new new wand here. I just got my trigger switch, whatever, installed. That looks good. So again, all I did was drill a hole, just big enough for it to slide in there tightly, and I put some super glue on there before I put it in. So it's super glued in, it's tight, good to go. Obviously it doesn't function, but this is still the function button, but I'm only doing it for looks. So Yeah, I think the wand looks a lot better. It definitely looks more like the 84 version. Now all I gotta do is put the real clippered valve on, put the banjo clips here with the red wire, put the bigger green hose here. I am gonna get the proper fittings later for this part. I might even do it before I do that, but yeah. And then I do have these clips, or these screws here, these hex screws. These go in a bunch of places on the pack, or on the wand as well, that I'm going to put on. I got some washers in there too. There's a few of them that have washers. But yeah, two of them go on this piece here. Two of them go, one goes here, one goes here. One goes inside this too, but I might not it doesn't look like I might not have enough room to get one on there. I might just put these two here. And then there's 6 on the bottom. They have like they have fake ones on the bottom. I'm gonna cut those off and put the real screws in. So a little bit more to go, and I'm almost done with this wand already. Jeez, I'm gonna need something else to do. All right, see you guys on the next one. Thanks. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment on the video. I know earlier someone said that their comments wasn't showing up. I have no idea why. I don't delete anything. I don't delete any comments. Even if you say something nasty, I don't care. I just ignore it. So I don't delete nothing at all. So hopefully that's just a glitch on YouTube's side if your comments aren't showing. I looked at my settings. It says show all comments. It doesn't say anything about checking the comments first or approving them. So I'm not sure. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions at all, if there's anything I can do to help you, or if you even have suggestions, if a way you did it was better or easier, I'm all ears. So all right, guys, I will talk to you there. Thanks.